the nominee or about anything. The weather.
Yes.
It's cold.
Those are not unrelated. 3 days ago, President Trump took office, and as Americans will recall, one of his oft-repeated pledges through the campaign was that he was going to lower costs for consumers. Yet, on the first night of his second term in office, he signed a raft of anti-environmental executive orders that, if implemented, will lead to higher prices for consumers. And by the way, worse economic headwinds for our American economy. Let's do a quick review. He directed EPA to revisit rules that limit pollution from cars, trucks, and power plants. If the Trump EPA rescinds these rules, consumers will pay thousands of dollars more for gasoline, hundreds of dollars a year more for their electric bill, and that is money out of the pocket of almost every American, transferred into the pocket of the oil and gas industry that funded Trump's campaign. He ordered a halt to offshore and onshore wind projects. Wind energy is key to reducing pollution and achieving affordable, stable energy prices. Less wind energy means more electricity demand met by combusting expensive and dirty fossil fuels, not to mention ceding our global competitive position in that industry to other countries. He ordered a reversal of energy efficiency standards for household appliances, which would have saved the average American over $100 per year. He ordered a dramatic reduction in the social cost of carbon, the metric used to estimate the harms to public health, to agriculture, and to the economy of each ton of carbon pollution emitted. A free-to-pollute business model serves the fossil fuel industry and only the fossil fuel industry, but it is morally, economically, and environmentally wrong. He ordered EPA to revisit whether greenhouse gases are pollutants under the Clean Air Act, reversed that finding, and there's no way for EPA to reduce the pollution driving climateflation in insurance and groceries, rising sea levels, and threatened homes along our coastlines, and, of course, the wildfires we are seeing in Los Angeles and the flooding that we saw in North Carolina. And all of this poses a systemic risk to our economy. The Trump agenda, after receiving immense funding from fossil fuel, is to break down climate change protections so that his big oil donors can sell more oil and gas and pollute for free. Which brings us to Lee Zeldin. The question becomes, is this gentleman capable of standing against that big oil political juggernaut? Sadly, all signs point to no. His consulting for Trump-affiliated organizations and his op-eds spouting big oil-approved talking points do not inspire confidence. He sits on the board of a Trump-affiliated dark money operation and won't disclose its donors even to the ethics officials looking for conflicts of interest at EPA. I think the American people deserve to know who the donors are, and of course so does EPA's ethics teams, so they can know whether decisions he makes at EPA are driven by those donor interests or by the public interests. He did not disavow moving EPA's headquarters, saying only that he hasn't been told of any plans. When asked if he supported traumatizing or firing most of EPA's staff, he equivocated, "I look forward to working with the talented career staff at EPA, and I look forward to working with the very talented career staff at EPA," is how he non-answered. He refused to acknowledge that the price of oil is set by a cartel and driven by geopolitical events over which we have no control. And when asked about wind power, he spouted fossil fuel-funded talking points about harms to marine life that are offensive to anyone who knows anything about oceans and marine life. We are in a perilous moment, colleagues. We have moved from the time of climate lies, frustrating and infuriating as that period was, to the time of climate consequences. We see already the leading edge of economic danger in the present turmoil in property insurance markets. You may not like the Budget Committee report on non-renewals, Treasury just did its own report coming to the same conclusions. The Financial Stability Board in this report just echoed my warnings of a cascading economic failure, from insurance markets to mortgages and real estate markets, and through that to a general shock to our economic system. It's not the first report to say that. Under Trump, a Commodities Futures Trading Commission report found, and I'm quoting it, climate change poses a major risk to the stability of the U.S. financial system, and, excuse me, climate change could pose systemic risks to the U.S. financial system. If colleagues don't know what systemic risks are, have someone look it up. It's a frightening phrase. The Economist magazine, not exactly a Green New Deal publication, put this warning on its cover: the next housing disaster, that climate change is going to shake the foundations of the world's largest asset class. And guess what? Mother Nature doesn't care about politics. As Pope Francis said, slap her, and she will slap you back. Insurance is already feeling her slap. There was a time when Republican presidents picked serious, independent people to run the EPA. George W. Bush chose Christy Whitman. Ronald Reagan chose Bill Ruckelshaus. In this dangerous time, I do not see Mr. Zeldin having the independence to lead the agency in a manner that will protect us against these looming dangers. He doesn't even seem to see that they exist. For that reason, I will vote no and urge a no vote.